Hey crafty friends, today I'm going to show you how I put my mini book about the audiobooks I have listened to this year so far. I've used 4x6 cards from my stash and just printed digital cards from Paper Person shop onto the white back of them. And yeah, this is how I got my journaling done. I also looked up for like a dot grid on the internet. I downloaded a dot grid paper and used it on the opposite side of each card. I'm going to show you in a little bit. So why am I using the back of journal cards? Well, sometimes there are cards that I know I'm not going to use, so why not use them as the back of something else, right? And this is what I did for my little mini book here about my audiobooks of 2022 so far. The binding I'm going to do is accordion binding. I'm scoring a piece of vellum every half an inch, and I'm just then going to fold it, and I'm adhering the inside of each tip together. And I know it's not the correct way, and it's also my first time, and I don't think I will use vellum for book binding again. I'd rather use like a thinner paper, craft paper maybe next time, because for flip ups and things like that, vellum is my absolute go-to paper. But this book gets a little thick, so vellum tears easily, so next time it's going to be a different kind of paper for the binding. But I'm also learning by doing, so I'm fine with it. So now it's time to fold all the lines in accordion style. I could have done it the correct way. I think it's like you score like half an inch and then a quarter of an inch, but I did not want my book to get so thick, although after adding all the embellishments it might have been a good idea to do so. So in just a few seconds we are going to jump into fast forward mode, and I will tell you a little bit more of how everything came together. So here you can see I'm just adhering one side together so that I have, oh Jesus, it's so hard to explain, that I have sides to adhere my 4x6 cards onto. You will see in a little bit, so I don't think it needs a lot of explaining. My paper piece wasn't long enough to adhere all of the cards, so I just had to add some more vellum, because I think I needed 10 or 11 hinges. I'm not sure anymore. So now I'm just adhering all the cards together. 2 cards get like 1 hinge, if that makes sense. And of course my rolling adhesive had to run out. So each side is getting this journal card from the Paper Person shop. I think it's from one of her reading kits. I'm not sure. I only can get the digital version since she's not shipping to Germany, so digital it is. So again, each page is getting a card with the information about the book, and then one card with the dot grid pattern, because my plan is to adhere a photo of each book on the dot grid pattern. So that's, I think, the last part. I love these journal cards. They are actually 3x4s, so I just made them 4x6 to have a bigger album. And I couldn't find my bookbinding tape, so I just used this. I don't even know what it is. I got it back in the days when I was doing art journaling, and I think it's for like drywalls, you know, to put on top when two drywalls meet, so you can put like that stuff over it. You know what I mean. So, adhering the photos with foam adhesive, with my favorite foam tape. Oh, it's so much better than the little foam squares. And sometimes I cut too much, so I have small pieces left. I'm gonna use them later. As you can see, I'm just putting them on my scoreboard there. So, I'm currently reading or listening to the 9th book this year. I think I haven't read a book in probably 9 years. So that's a really, really good. And yeah, here you can see there's one of the pieces of the vellum tore there on that page, so I just used some tape to adhere everything together. This mini book is not perfect, and it's totally fine. Again, learning by doing. I decided to add some ribbon to close my mini album, and I love it. So in addition to paper person shops, journal cards, I created digital stamps to go with my album, and these will be available in my shop very, very soon, my Etsy shop. Again, digital is always fun because you can print them on paper, you can add them directly onto your photos or whatever you want to print out. They are just so versatile and so much fun. So I'm just cutting everything up here. I'm using, I used another 4x6 journal card, and I just printed everything on the back. So the fun thing is also that you can resize digital stamps. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller, you can color them in. Just so much fun. So, and I even got my pens out because I thought, well, you know, that I want that audiobook lover on the cover. But it's just too black and white. So I just added some yellow on a scrap piece and then decided, oh, it's fine. I don't need to do it again. I'm just going to use that scrap piece, which actually is not a scrap piece because, you know, I just punched it earlier. And I'm adding the date to that label down there. Just documenting my audiobooks from January to March, because I'm currently still listening to number 9. So I probably do another one in about 3 months. We'll see. So now I'm just adding pieces of the digital stamp set, but before I do that, I'm marking the stars with a pen. And therefore, Reckless Girls, I actually wanted to give 3 stars, and then while coloring I gave it 4. So just adding pieces here and there, and I'm sometimes coloring them or using like these zigzags, scissors. I'm stapling things before I'm adhering them down. So that good bad read piece is intended so that you can, you know, cross out the word good or bad, whatever is the case for you. Some ear pods, and coloring in some, you know, word phrases. It's just very, very simple. And so with these journal cards, they have the currently reading on it. I'm okay with it. Covered it up a couple of times. And it includes the title, the name of the author, and when I started reading the book or listening to it, and when I finished it. So usually once I finish an audiobook, the next day I will start a new audiobook from my list. So let's go through the book again. I got like a little library card at the front. The first book I read was We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Really liked it. The second one, All You Need Is Love. Sweet story, predictable ending. Probably one of my favorite books this year so far, Reminders of Him. Trevor Noah was hilarious. Loved his storytelling and his stories, of course. Reckless Girls, yeah, it did remind me of Lord of the Flies a little bit for some reason. Somebody's Daughter, I did not know that Ashley C. Ford is younger than me. Her voice sounds so much older. And this is also one of my favorite books so far, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. The Love Hypothesis, nah, sweet, but very predictable. And here's a list of books I want to listen to in the future. So I really hope you enjoyed this little video about my mini book album, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.